All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Readers. Very, very glad to be back and really excited to be making a slightly different video here, okay? So normally when you watch my videos, I'm here to make short-term predictions, okay? I believe daily chart and the weekly chart is a realistic amount of time to just make some assumptions, happy if I'm right, and I obviously adjust if I'm wrong, right? I think as you start to go longer term, there's a lot of different variables that can happen, right? And to me, it's just so unpredictable that I rarely make long-term predictions. I know I get a bunch of them in the YouTube comments and in the social media comments, right? But I'm gonna make a dedicated Tilray video that looks a lot longer out. So I'll do the normal daily, weekly, but then I'm gonna add the monthly, the quarterly, and the yearly. Okay, and again, if you've never seen my videos, I sincerely believe Tilray is the number one chart stock in the weed sector. Okay, now, do I believe this is the best company, the best fundamentals and all that? No, I really don't. But I believe the Tilray charts dictate the rest. All right, and I'll go into that again a little bit more. But yeah, more than anything, my goal is to do a long-term view because honestly, I'm excited for 24. I am not saying this as a fanboy. I'm not saying this, hoping because, look, happy, bullish videos generally get more views. That is the honest truth, right? But I think there is so much that 24 can bring. So that's essentially going to be it. And really, it's going to focus on Tilray. And then I'll cover the rest on the next one, okay? So before we go any further, though, and I give you more of my thoughts and opinions, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term, as well as the monthly, quarterly, and yearly to hopefully make a little bit longer term prediction than I normally do, okay? I'm still going to make my manual horizontal support and resistance lines as well as the diagonal trend lines. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe to this channel, share this video online with your friends, comment good or bad. Look, anything you can do really does help me out with these YouTube algorithms, but for real, just being here, watching these videos, giving me your time, your comments, I'm so grateful for it all right? So Tilray, there's a lot to like on this chart, all right? Believe me, I think Friday could have been just a little bit better, but hey, I will take this as the end of the month, end of the week, end of the year. Like this is not a bad place for Tilray to be. Just zooming out and look, like Tilray has just been a whole mess of going down for a really long time. You know what I mean? So it's good to start to believe. And again, I think that there's more like technical reasons. I think there are more political reasons than just a bunch of hopium and averaging down and praying. You know what I mean? So the first place I actually want to start with is volume. Again, if you watch my golden rules of trading, volume is king, okay? And this has been the thing I've been saying for a few weeks, okay? What happens is Tilray is really good at this level volume, all right? You can just see it as I zoom out even more, and even like this, like it can crush this low teen. Let me just draw the line, all right? Like if I put an extra line right there, oh, that did not work well at all. Yeah, right there, 13 million, okay? You can basically see that, yeah, almost every single moment that line has some candles on it. I don't know if I'm zoomed in too much, but yeah, look at that. It's literally almost never missed, okay? The problem is as you get these spikes, you start to bring the 50-day average a little too high up from that 13 million. It happened back there, happened again right here, okay? And we were just so unable to hit that line, to hit that 50 average day for months and months. But that low volume averaged out the high volume, and all of a sudden, where did we come down to? Back to that magical 13, 14 million number. And when we were down there, lo and behold, we can actually start smashing the line regularly. All right, you can see it, right? Like it was nearly impossible, nearly impossible, nearly impossible, nearly impossible. Oh, okay, nearly impossible. Oh, okay. Oh, boom, right? Like breaking the average 50-day volume is key. All right, because like again, I always joke, right? Like we're talking about the average here, right? Like I'm not talking about the exceptional or the better than I'm literally just saying the average, right? So this is a C, right? Like this is not a good grade. No one's proud of you for being average, right? So when you can start getting over that, you can start getting, some B pluses, B minuses. Hey, people will be happier. You know what I mean? So volume picking up is what I believe helps the uptrend pick up as well. And the one thing I love doing is this, okay? Right now, our trend line looks like that. My new trend line is this, all right? I'm gonna draw it just a little bit better, okay? But I'm now taking it, that's good enough right there, from this corner to that corner. What's now happening is my uptrend is getting steeper. My slope, again, no one talks about 5th grade math, right? But this is where we do it, okay? That's a good slope. Hey, it's going up. That's a better slope. That thing is starting to go up more now, right? And I like when that happens, because the opposite actually does happen on the way down. You know what I mean? Things just get steeper and steeper down. No, this is actually going higher and higher up now. I love that, okay? The next thing I love, you can clearly see it. Look, we're obviously technically, and no, let me say that the other way. We're physically over all 5 lines, right? And we've actually been physically over 5 lines for the last 4 days, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This day's over, this day's over, this day's over, this day's over, right? Look, being physically over all 5 is a beautiful thing. You know that. But I need more. None of this was confirmation, right? Doji doesn't count. This is obviously nothing. Thursday was the day. I was a little sad I couldn't make videos on Thursday. Believe me, I would have been, oh man. And well, we'll talk about blah, blah, blah. Thursday was the day. And you know what? Friday just couldn't confirm. But hey, I'll be honest with you. Friday, I normally assume is a red loser day anyways, right? So as disappointed I am that like, yeah, there was no confirmation, whatever. It was a Friday, right? It kind of does that anyway. So, obviously, we're golden crossing when the small one goes over the big one. We literally have the smallest one going over the biggest one with the 8 crossing above the 200 right there, right? Beautiful golden cross, right? Seemingly about to go over that 100 right now as well, right? So got to love that. I mean, there are things to like, but I need a confirmation over all 5 lines, okay? So yes, we are physically over it. We've been physically over it for a bit, but just not enough, all right? And really, in some ways, you can argue we actually haven't confirmed the 200 break, because that obviously gets over the purple line. The next one is a doji, and that doesn't count. This one doesn't really count either. Now, I'm glad this one did that, but I don't really know if this is a confirmation of this or if it's just a little too far now. I don't know. I'm going to be real honest with you, right? But hey, I love that we have 3 lines here. Like, I find it really, really hard to believe this thing's going to go any lower than 218, even if the confirmation doesn't really hold too well. You know what I mean? But I'm glad, again, we're physically over the lines. I like the volume more than being over here, all right? You know I love the MACD. MACD is definitely at a nice little positive. It's got a good little separation from the rest. I wish it was diverging a little more. It looks a little more parallel. Divergence just means lines going away, right? Like that's diverging, that's kind of parallel, diverging, parallel, right? So I wish they were just going away from each other a little bit more, but yeah, I'm a little surprised too that oh no, I'm not. It looks like I'm not. That looked a little higher than it was. So I hope you just saw what I did. If not, let me just take a step back. So one thing I generally like to do is just see, hey, how high can the RSI get historically, right? I always say between 30 and 80. This thing's kind of struggled to get over the high 70s. So it actually does make a little bit of sense that it's stalled right there. You know what I mean? So I'll take the positive MACD hold. I'll call this a normal volume. Maybe it'll come as low as this like 50, 60, but yeah, overall I think we're okay here. So look, again, I'm liking, like I said, I started the video with it, right? I like where this ended. I like where this ended on the daily. I wish it closed just a couple cents higher. I actually would have loved like 234, 230, yeah, 234. Just a little closer to 50% of Thursday. It went just under half. You can actually almost say it took 2/3 of it, really, maybe even more, right? But again, Friday days are this. And look, what am I looking for on Tuesday? Hey, Monday is closed because of New Year's, right? So on Tuesday, I'm expecting a close of 235 or higher, all right? If it gets over 241, if it gets over the close of Thursday, hell yeah. That's where this thing's going to start to go into this 250 range, into this 260 range, and then hey, maybe even a little bit higher, right? But right now we just need to get ourselves over that right there, and oof, man, it should be really, really nice actually. All right, I'll draw that line. I think that is actually worth drawing. Get me over that. Get me over that. Yeah. 253 is the next number, and look at that. Is that where we wicked on Thursday? 252 is where we wicked. 253, I think, is the next big number. 252, 253, yeah, right there. Makes sense, actually, why we wicked that. I'm telling you, I'm liking the Tilray daily. I'm liking this weekly. I'm liking this weekly because of this right here. Listen to me. I rarely care about candle shapes. The doji, to me, is the one that matters the most, all right? What's a doji? A doji is the name of this candle. It's the name of this candle. It's the name of this one. It's the name of this one. It's the name of this one, all right? And look, some people will say this is a little more doji than this one. This one might be like called Dragon Hammer or something. Like, look, I'm telling you, I really don't know a lot about the path, but to me, what they all scream is uncertainty. In a week, this thing opens right here, goes as high as up here, right? Let me unclick. It starts here, right? One of these two lines, who gives a shit? Sorry to curse. Goes all the way up to here, comes all the way down to here, and then basically ends where it opened, right? That's uncertainty. That's a week of, I think it's going to go, I think it's going to drop. You know what? Let's just wait. And for it to basically close exactly on the 50, next week is going to be really important. Next week is either going to come, what are you? Next Friday either closes above 250 with even a really good shot at 263, or we're coming back down to 217, 220. And again, that's the exact same thing I said on the daily. I'll find it really hard to believe we'll go under 218, 217, right? So yeah, weekly is either, it's confirmed, it's either going to come to this 220 or man, we're going to start testing that 250, 260 and hopefully break the 50 and go to the 100, which is actually sitting a little higher than my 3 line, right? So daily and weekly, I'm loving. All right. So this part onward is going to be what I basically call the new part, all right? Because I never do this, right? I'm always a daily and the weekly. So let's come into the monthly. Now, you got to remember the lines don't look as pretty when I move out, you know what I mean? And I don't even know where this line came from. This one's probably a little bit older drawn because I was just drawing these two, right? Like, I'm actually a little confused. Is there a line up here somewhere? Yeah, there is. I think there is. No? Whatever. That just confused me. Again, I have no idea why it's drawing that. Back to the monthly. What am I looking at on the monthly? I'm looking at a nice break of the 8 moving average. All right. Now look, what do I see here? Same thing, right? We break the 8 and hey, at least the next month ended up going up. And actually, if you look at it, the next month after it made a good little attempt and actually almost wicked. What am I looking at? Okay, look, the high of this month was 340. That's the third line. The average 20 was 347. So we just missed the 20. But hey, it kind of made a hope for it, right? Now it's a little bit closer, and yeah, I'm liking it. Where is our 20 right now? 280. 280. Nice. I think there's a real reason to believe come January, maybe even come February, I think 280 is a very real possibility. Because again, I'm seeing a break of the 8. Again, we need to confirm, you know that, right? But hopefully we kind of do the same thing. And basically in a month and a half, give or take, whenever that happened, we got to the orange line. Maybe in a month this time we can get to the orange line. To me, that's 280. Now, realistically, this thing is actually kind of going down a little bit, so maybe it's 270. Maybe 270 is going to end up being where that orange line opens on the next month, right? But I'm glad that we were able to close over the monthly, which again, I go back to, look, I would have loved a stronger confirmation here, but we ended up really well on that. We did a real good doji at a real good spot. Oh, excuse me, hiccup. We have a monthly that actually did the job, and very realistically better than the last time. This one just closes over the green line, right? Like, look, this month closes at 253. The average 8 was at 242, barely over 10 cents, right? This guy was at 213 for the 8 average, and you can see the first number on top was 230. It was close, a little more than 15 cents, which actually is a little more than a 50% improvement from this one, right? So I like the improvement on the 8 break. It's still making me believe we can do that, okay? No, I want to talk about this, I think, on the, you know what, let's talk about it here. I think I'll talk about it here, and then again, I'll echo it on the other ones, okay? 2020 was an election year, okay? And look, this is January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. Come October, November, that's when the elections were heating up, okay? That's when, and you know I am not here to talk about politics, all right? I really don't care who's going to become president, all right? My life will probably not change a lot if it's Democrat or Republican, if it's him or her, if it's that one or that, like, for real, I don't care about who wins. What I care about is people talking about weed, okay? What I care about is people realizing that, you know, maybe more states are actually making it a little more legal than we were expecting, and this and that. And hey, you know, some of these rules are a little odd. Maybe if we did something, we can actually bring in some more like, there are very educated and well-sounding clips and bites that can make a politician look good, and more than anything can make the weed sector look good. And man, it happened in 2020. Come October and November, as the elections were heating up, right? Like, this one's literally October, end of October. This one right here was November, and you can see this November month, right? Like, the number changes when I click into it, all right? The November month, the actual election month, went up almost 60%, all right? And again, from there, you know, maybe people thought that things were going to happen, and obviously they didn't. I can say that that's fair because I thought things were going to happen, and they obviously didn't, right? But this is an important thing that might repeat. Because again, we're coming into another election year, could be a hot topic. Nonetheless, all right, technically speaking, I've said what I've said there, right? When we move out to the quarterly, again, this one's a little bit of an interesting one. And I'll be honest with you, I did look at this, all right? Again, I look at the weed charts, believe me when I say that, all right? So between the, and I there's too many lines here, believe me, like I thought about cleaning things up, but that would kind of look blah blah blah. Okay, sorry, that's a bad month right there. What month was this? This was the June, no, this was, that's Q2. We're looking at the quarterly chart. So January, February, March, this is April, May, June right here. And then when I click here, yeah, last day was June 30th. That makes sense. So April, May, June tanks. Horrible, horrible Q2. I love a Q3. I love a secondary candle that basically takes it all back, right? It doesn't completely take it. If you look over there, you can see we open at 252, that second number, 252. Where does this one close at? 239, right? So we're definitely like a good 10 cents, give or take, under it. But lose it all, get it right back. I love it. The next month very easily could have said, no, 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 this was BS and let's get rid of it. And you can see at moments people thought that this thing drops as low as $1.61. We know on the daily that the $1.51 line is our all-time low, right? And we've come real close to it. So like, yeah, we're very, very familiar with that $1.60 number we're seeing right there, right? Oh, sorry, bad zoom out. This thing tanks for a minute, but then you know what? It says, no, no, no. Let's just come back up here and let's see what, like, to me, this is the same doji, all right? Again, I think this one's called a hammer something or something like that. I don't really know. That's a doji. That's an uncertainty month. And our uncertainty quarter, excuse me. I think next quarter could be real good. Earnings are about to come out. I think it's the first or second week of January, if I'm not mistaken. I think I saw it was the 9th. I think if this thing has some earnings and there's some early good, it doesn't even have to be good earnings, just well-received earnings, right? Like I have seen bad earnings bring a lot of good numbers because the market decides, like it's silly, right? But whatever. Yeah, the one thing I want to say, there's a lot, and I haven't said this yet, all right? There's a lot of red. This thing is actually putting a lot of weight on that 311 line, if you see it right there, right? What's our average 8 at? It's at 314, give or take my 311 line, right? So this quarterly is actually kind of saying, you know what? We might make a run to that 311 at some point, and there is so much red. It's actually red, green, red. Like that's all this thing is. This thing could make us, like, I think it's very, very, very premature and silly to put a $13 thought. I think $8 is a little too aggressive. Maybe 518, maybe the bottom of this one, maybe. Dude, we're at 230, right? Like slow and steady. This is a quarterly chart. It's gonna take a minute, but I think there's a shot between the first 6 months to come to 518. I do. I think that this quarterly is kind of saying, you know what? I think we might break this 8 because we, again, election year. I could see it just kind of happening a little earlier. Maybe I'm wrong, right? I think we make the move, and look how much further the 8 was here than when it was here, right? I think we make a good move to take the 8. I think the green, red takes it, and I think there's a decent shot that come by like June 30th, right? End of Q2, we might have wicked that 515-ish, give or take. What's the actual line? What do we open at? Okay, so it's a little 492. I think there's a decent shot of a 480 wick come June. Again, things can happen, things can get better, right? But that's my assumptions there. And then look, the yearly has not been green yet. All right? The yearly has not been green yet. Let me say it one more time, okay? The yearly has not been green yet. Red could make a nasty green, all right? And look, again, I'm not here making some crazy wild assumptions and this and that, but I can see this trying to climb at least this one red candle if it can do something. And this is an interesting place to do it because that's a doji right there. That's a doji right there. And I think the next month, the next candle could be really telling. Maybe that even gives us a little bit of reason to believe that 25 could be good after that, right? So I'm liking 24. Going from the daily through the yearly, that was kind of my thing. A lot of the lines really lined up to some of my lines as well. I always like that. Again, in the short term, I like that the uptrend's getting better. That's a good place to start into the year, right? As opposed to the downtrend getting steeper, all right? So let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you disagreed with anything. Let me know if you agreed with stuff too, right? I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.